Popular doesn't always mean better. In the world of watches, just because everyone's flaunting a certain model doesn't mean it's the wisest choice for your wrist or your wallet. So today, I'm breaking down the 10 most popular watches you should probably avoid. And more importantly, why. So whether you're an aspiring collector or just trying to make a smart purchase, stick around because this is the tea that you'll want to sip on slowly. Number 1, Rolex Submariner. First off, we have the Rolex Submariner. Here's the thing. It's everywhere. Everyone's seen it, everyone wants it, and almost every watch collector owns one. But is it really worth all the fuss? The Submariner is undoubtedly a beautiful watch and an icon in the dive watch category. But let's talk about the elephant in the room. It's everywhere. The Submariner has become so overhyped that it's lost its uniqueness. If you're thinking of buying one just to follow the trend, you may want to reconsider. And don't even get me started on the prices. Sure, it's iconic, but it's more of a flex than a unique choice at this point. It's the watch equivalent of driving a flashy sports car in rush hour traffic. Impressive, but predictable. The gray market? Yeah, it's wild. Prices are crazy inflated because everyone wants to get their hands on one. But let's be real here. Are you paying for the quality, or are you just buying into the hype? There's no denying that the Submariner is an exceptional watch, but does it still feel like you when it's on everyone? If you want a luxury dive watch that's a little more exclusive, check out the Blancpain 50 Fathoms. It's a stunning high-end diver with a serious heritage, and you won't see it on every wrist. Number 2, Patek Philippe Nautilus. Now, the Patek Philippe Nautilus. This one is a serious heavy hitter in the world of luxury watches. But let's face it, the Nautilus has gone from being a true icon of design to becoming a status symbol for the ultra-wealthy. Prices for the Nautilus have skyrocketed to an almost absurd point. If you're buying it for its design or the story behind it, that's one thing. But if you're getting it just because it's the watch to have, you might be overpaying for the hype. Let's be honest, the hype machine is real. Sure, the Nautilus is beautiful, but with its prices shooting through the roof, it feels more like a game of who's willing to drop the most cash, rather than a true appreciation of horology. The worst part? Patek Philippe has restricted the production of this model, which has only fueled the demand and driven prices higher. So now, instead of feeling like you own a piece of history, you might feel like that you're just part of an elite club of people paying crazy prices for a watch that's no longer unique. So instead of the Nautilus, consider the Vacheron Constantin Overseas. It offers impeccable craftsmanship and an equally rich history, and it isn't as overhyped, so you get true value without the inflated price tag. When a watch's price skyrockets, it's not always because of its quality. It's often driven by hype and exclusivity. Number 3, Omega Speedmaster Moonwatch. Don't get me wrong, the Omega Speedmaster is a legend, especially with its connection to the Apollo moon missions. But here's the thing, just because it's a classic doesn't mean it's for everyone. The Moonwatch is often recommended to newbie collectors because of its iconic status, but sometimes its popularity overshadows the fact that there are other great chronographs out there. Now, if you're buying it because you genuinely love the history and design, great. But if you're grabbing it just because everyone says you should, maybe take a step back. Keep in mind that Omega produces a lot of Speedmasters, which takes away a bit of the exclusivity you might be looking for. If you're in the market for a chronograph with a bit more individuality, check out the Zenith El Primero. It's another iconic chronograph, but you won't see it on every wrist. And it's got a movement that's just as legendary as the Speedmaster. Number 4, Tag Heuer Formula 1. The Tag Heuer Formula 1 is an affordable entry into the luxury watch market, but there's a reason why seasoned collectors often skip this one. While it's popular, the Formula 1 doesn't hold value well, and it tends to get overshadowed by other models in the Tag Heuer lineup. This watch is aimed at people who are new to the world of luxury watches. And there's nothing wrong with that, But if you're looking for something with long-term value, it might not be the best investment. The market for Tag Heuer Formula One watches is saturated, and because it's mass-produced, its resale value tends to drop like a stone. If you're looking for a watch in a similar price range, but with better craftsmanship and potential to hold value, take a look at Longines. The Longines Hydro Conquest is a solid, stylish dive watch that offers more bang for your buck and better long-term value. Number 5. Cartier Tank. Next up is the Cartier Tank. It's a classic, no doubt about it, but here's the problem. The Tank has become a bit of a fashion watch. Again, don't get me wrong, it's beautiful and it has a rich history, but the Tank has become so associated with fashion-forward buyers that it can sometimes feel like you're buying an accessory rather than a serious watch. It's often chosen by people who aren't really into watches, but instead want something luxury and recognizable. And while there's nothing wrong with that, if you're a watch enthusiast, you might find yourself wishing for something with more substance and less fashion. If you want something classic but with more horological cred, check out Jaeger LeCoultre Reverso. It's another iconic rectangular watch, but with a lot more watchmaking history and craftsmanship behind it. Number 6. Hublot Big Bang. The Hublot Big Bang. Where do I start? It's big, it's bold, and it's incredibly loud. It's the kind of watch that screams for attention. And while that might work for some people, for most collectors, it's just a bit too much. On top of that, Hublot often gets criticized for overpricing their watches for what they actually offer in terms of quality and craftsmanship. If you are buying an Hublot Big Bang, chances are it's because of the brand's aggressive marketing and celebrity endorsements. But does that justify the price? Well, for many, the answer's no. Hublot is great at building hype, but when it comes to value, they fall a bit short. If you are looking for a bold, statement-making watch, but you want better value for your money, check out Ulysse Nardin. Their Freak X model is unique, innovative, and less likely to depreciate in value. Number 7. Breitling Navitimer. Breitling Navitimer fans, please don't come for me. The Navitimer is a beloved pilot's watch, but let's be honest, it's a bit busy. Unless you're an actual pilot, or just love the look of an intricate dial, the Navitimer can feel a little overwhelming. It's a great piece of aviation history, but it's also produced in large numbers, which takes away some of that exclusivity you might be after. And if you're not using it for its intended purpose, the slide rule bezel might just end up being a cool-looking feature that you never use. If you're into aviation watches, but you want something cleaner and more exclusive, take a look at the IWC Pilot's Watch chronograph. It's a sharp, functional watch with just the right amount of complexity, without feeling too cluttered. Number 8. Audemars Piguet Royal Oak Offshore. The Audemars Piguet Royal Oak Offshore is a statement piece, no doubt, but here's the thing. It's huge, it's expensive, and it's not for everyone. This watch is bold and chunky, and unless you have the wrist size to match, it can feel like overkill. Also, with so many variations of the offshore being produced, it can start to lose its unique appeal. If you want something from Audemars Piguet, but you don't want to feel like you're wearing a brick, consider the Audemars Piguet Royal Oak 37mm. It's sleek, it's timeless, and it doesn't scream for attention. Number 9. Panerai Luminor. Panerai Luminor fans love the bold, oversized design, but here's the problem. Once you've got one, you've got one. The Luminor has a very distinct look, which is great if you're into that style, but it lacks versatility. You might find yourself wanting something different after a while, and the Panerai aesthetic doesn't leave much room for variety. If you want a versatile dive watch with some character, take a look at the Tudor Pelagos. It's tough, it's functional, and it can transition easily from casual to dressy. And number 10, Richard Mille RM011. Last but not least, the Richard Mille RM011 is practically a status symbol among the ultra-wealthy. But here's the thing, it's probably too much for most people. It's expensive, and unless you have the lifestyle and bank account to match, it might just feel like an unnecessary flex. Richard Mille watches are known for their futuristic design and high-tech materials, but at the end of the day, you might wonder if you're paying for the innovation or just the hype. If you are looking for innovation without the extreme price tag, take a look at MB&F's Legacy Machine 101. It's an avant-garde watch with cutting-edge design, but with a little more sophistication and less of the look-at-me factor. At the end of the day, buying a watch is a personal experience. It's easy to get caught up in the latest trends or follow the crowd, but if you're looking for long-term value, uniqueness, and true craftsmanship, it's worth doing your research. Trust me, there's a whole world of lesser-known brands and models out there that could serve as better investments and more meaningful additions to your collection. So, the next time you're in the market for a new watch, ask yourself, are you buying it because you love it, or because everyone else does? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, and I will be sure to respond to every single one. Like and subscribe if you love elegant timepieces, and if you don't subscribe, that means I'll just have to wait another day to onboard you. Until next time, keep your wrists stylish and your time priceless.